to talk about um, the, the protests tonight at 4 o'clock in the federal building, and kind of what we know. First, I want to say that, our involvement is that people come to us and ask us questions, like we heard this person was taken off the street or whatnot. And as a police department, some of them we got missing earlier in the year. We got missing person reports, like, hey, this person was, and then we were told it was ICE, and then we followed up to make sure that person wasn't at risk, So any of these kind of reports that come in, we do follow up and make sure that the people are safe, and if they have been picked up by ICE, that they're safe and they've been detained by ICE. So we were alerted that someone had been picked up on Monday in the Hill area on Frank Street, a female who was picked up by ICE. Unfortunately, she was picked up in front of her children. There was a report that her children were left there. We were able to confirm that that wasn't true. The children were left with a family member. And the only other information we have is that she did have a pending case with us with the state court that's supposed to go to court next Monday. But the charges are misdemeanors. It was a breach of peace and an assault third charge. So I know that there's a lot of tempers flaring throughout the country and the city related to these type of incidents. So we are making sure that, if this comes up, whether it did happen or not, and what, our next paths are as a city. So, as we always are with New Haveners and people from New Haven, we allow the protests. We will allow them to march if they want to march. We're not going to allow intersections being blocked. We're not going to allow damage to property. I'm very proud of this city because we haven't seen that, even in protests as far back as George Floyd. But again, we are prepared to keep everybody safe that is protesting, like we always have, and we hope that it's a peaceful protest.
So were you?
I'll just say a few words.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not expecting any inappropriate behavior at the protest. New Haven has a long history of having peaceful protests, and honestly, since I've been mayor, I've seen almost no protests that have involved anything, including vandalism. So we don't expect that to happen. Just a couple of words, kind of big picture here. First of all, it's concerning to me that ICE is not notifying us about these activities before they happen, because God forbid New Haven Police Department gets called because there's some folks that are in masks that don't identify themselves that try to arrest someone we don't know about it, and there's some conflict. And in the past, police department has worked very closely with the federal government, and if the federal government does some sort of action, they notify us in advance to protect our own police officers. So it's concerning to me that we're starting to see that kind of activity in the city. And as you see from an extreme example out in LA, there's not a lot of coordination between the federal government and the local police department there. And that's a recipe for a lot of problems and putting members of our federal government and our police department at risk. So, I'd say that that's concerning. Nevertheless, this happens. We were notified about it through the community. Our police department reached out to ICE and confirmed that it did happen. The way that it happened, if true, is deplorable. That ICE boxes in a mother with an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old in her car and arrests her. That's terrifying. My kids are about that age, and my kids, I can't even imagine if my children all of a sudden saw their mom arrested and taken away in front of them. So there's many ways that ICE can conduct their business. This is not an appropriate way for ICE to do that. In addition, from the information that we have seen, the woman had 2 misdemeanor charges related to the same incident where she had a conflict with another woman. Just to be clear, the assault 3 is people having a conflict and people have some sort of bruises or scars. So it's not someone pulling out a gun on someone else. Both individuals that were involved in that incident were injured, just to think about how ICE, if all the details are true in this, conducted this arrest. It is terrifying for the children who are members of our public school community, and just beyond appropriate or humane. Questions from folks?
So I just want to clarify, did you all verify that this happened?
So we know that the woman was detained. We don't know the manner. We're only hearing stories from people on the street that they were boxed in by 4 cars or whatnot. So no, honestly, we don't know exactly what happened, but we do know she was picked up.
Okay. And do you know how, you mentioned at the beginning that you've gotten reports of this over time. Do you know how many you've been able to verify or confirm?
I mean, not many at all. I mean, a handful, yeah, not many at all. So I mean, ICE hasn't been overly active in New Haven at all. I mean, maybe 5 or 6 different incidents since the beginning of the year, tops.